Okay, when you first log into the system, this is what you're going to see. To create a batch, you're going to want to click on the Batch tab. This is the home page for batch shipping here. If you'd had batches you created in the past, you could select them from the Select a Batch pull down, be able to load them up, see past batches that you'd created, finished batches that you hadn't finished, so on and so forth. Today, we are going to create a new batch, so click on the Create Batch button. Get this new window, click the Upload File button, and then select the CSV file that you want to use from your hard drive. And now it is uploaded, it's been processed. Click the Next button. You can see that the file has been uploaded and processed and is ready to go. The first thing we want to do is our CSV file had a header row, tells you what columns are which, and we don't want to use that for shipping, so we're going to exclude it. So we're going to go down here to the exclude row 1 from import checkbox, check that, and now that row is completely ignored. Real handy if you have header rows, or if you have rows you don't want to process, or rows that have errors that you want to ignore for now. So that is how you do that. So next we are going to start filling in this data. We're going to start with sender address. If you had a file that had your sender address in it, you could pull it across. We are going to handle these manually. So you click the blue button, type in the address data you want. We're pulling this one from the address book, and you can see that now we're ready to go. Now, when you put in a address manually, or any of these fields manually, those fields are given to the entire batch that you're creating. So for our batch, sender address will be equal to these values for the entire file. If you map them, they're equal to each row, but when you manually put them in, it is for the entire batch. You can also see that we've got some green checkboxes here on the right. Those mean that the data we've entered is valid and isn't going to cause any problems when we go forward. So now that we've got sender address done, we are going to do receiver address next, and these we're actually going to map. So we pull across company and contact name, pull across the address. You can see when we do address that we are getting a warning here instead of a green checkbox, and if you click on it, it'll tell you what that warning is. In this case, it looks like rows 2 and 3 for the address are too long. So we don't have to worry about that right now. We can take care of it later. It's just letting you know that there is a problem. So we're going to finish mapping everything here. Pull city across, pull state across, pull postal code across, and phone number, and email. So now we've got the receiver address section mapped as well. One thing you probably noticed is when we were doing state that we got these little arrows, and those are indicate that this field has translation values. And what that is that we require the state to be in a certain format. It has to be either a 2-character abbreviation or the full state name. In our case, they were correct in the file, but if, for instance, let's say the file you created, someone mistyped the state of Utah, they spelled it UTA, and we don't know how to use that value. So what you would do is you'd click these arrows and you get the value translations dialog. What you would see is UTA over on the left hand side, and the right hand side would be blank. To fix that problem, what you want to do is map those values. So UTA is equal to Utah in this case. You'd select it and everything would match up. You could hit close and everything would be good. So now we are going to map the shipping information fields. Again, you could pull those over if you wanted to, but we are going to just put them in manually. So we're going to say a ship date of next Monday. We're going to choose a service type of FedEx 2-day, a package type of, go down to the FedEx package types. We're going to choose small box, and then we're going to say that each one of those small boxes is going to weigh 2 pounds, and then we have mapped everything you need to create a shipment. So this batch is ready to go. Couple things before we move on. If you wanted to add all of your receiver addresses to your address book. The way to do that is just to click this Add to Address Book checkbox, and then when we create the batch, everyone in your CSV file will be added to your address book. Second thing is, if you're going to use this file format going forward, say every day, and you don't want to have to do all this mapping every time, what you do is click the Save Mappings button, give your mapping a name that you can remember, and next time you come, you just load in the file, and then instead of mapping everything, you just choose it from the mappings drop down, and everything will map automatically. Save yourself a lot of time. Finally, we need to give this batch a name so that if we need to come back to it later, we can find it. You want to give that a nice, unique name that will make sense to you 2 weeks from now. If you need to look up a batch, maybe use the date. So this batch is ready to go. We are going to click Next. And this warning is just telling us, hey, you've got a couple fields that might not be right. We know that that's the address. We can ignore this for now. We're just going to hit yes to move forward. Now you are on the summary page. This just tells you a little bit about the files you've uploaded, the stuff you've done. You've got your file name, the total number of rows you imported in your file, the number of rows you excluded, in our case 1, number of fields that you dragged over and mapped, and the number of warnings, again the address. We are going to add this to the address book. We have chosen to save the mapping name. And lastly, we've got Save CSV for Export. What that does is, once you've gone through an entire batch, created it, shipped it, you can export the CSV file for that batch, and that'll give you all the information from the batch plus any information that was generated by our system. That allows you to save that for your records, and also it makes it easy to match batch labels to your packages, because all that data will be in there. Below that, we've got static values, so that's data that instead of mapping it by dragging, we typed in, so you can see all the shipper information plus our shipment information is there. So last thing to do would be to create the batch, and we are now done. In the next part of this video, we will go through how to quote and ship a batch, how to avoid it if there are problems, and generally finish up everything. Thanks.